Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining the Free to Be podcast. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for joining the interview. I'm here with my good friend Mel. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Okay. So I got to know this amazing person by I was just kind of scrolling through like Instagram, trying to find people that I can relate to being a teen author. I haven't wrote a book yet, but I want to. So I was like trying to find people I could talk to, and I DM'd her, and I was like, okay, let me see if she can give me any advice. She was really sweet enough to give me some advice, and then I got to know that she had a book called Leaving Wishville. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to screw that up.
Yeah, leaving Wishville.
And I'm like, okay, it's cool. She got a book. How old are you again?
I'm 17 at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, a 17-year-old with a book. I'm thinking, okay, that's pretty cool. And then I'm like, okay, let's find out more. Let's see. She has a YouTube channel. I started seeing her YouTube channel, and I started watching a lot of stuff. I'm like, okay, this is very inspiring. It kind of like motivated me more because I needed like a little boost to get me like going. And I was like, okay, this person is pretty cool. I want to get to know more about her. So we talked a little bit more, and I found that she has a short film, right? What's the short film called?
Yeah, in the works at the moment.
In the works?
It's
Okay.
it's an adaptation of Leaving Wishville.
Okay.
Um yeah.
Okay. So you got a book, you have a YouTube channel, and you have a short film in the works. It's pretty cool. And what else do you have? Like, if there's any more, it's a lot. What else do you have?
Honestly, the main things that I do right now is work on writing and my YouTube channel. I do some freelance copy editing and some other gigs outside of writing and YouTube to make more money because I'm just getting started at the moment.
Yeah.
But pretty much I'm trying to build up my creative hobbies so that I can turn them into a career because I really don't want to do a traditional 9 to 5 job. That's
Mhm.
one of my main motivators right now.
Yeah. I get you. I kind of right now I'm kind of like stuck and thinking like, do I get a job right now? Even though I'm school's kind of
Mm-hmm.
been tough, and do I
Yeah,
pursue this career? It's been complicated. I'm trying to like
it's
balance
tricky.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm like,
there's definitely a balance that you have to find. Yeah.
you don't really know what you're heading into, so you just kind of like
Mm-hmm.
it's got a guessing game, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
I am very inspired. I was watching a video of yours. I think it's why I quit school or when I
Oh yeah, my college video.
okay, yeah. And I was like, okay, first off, my question is, I don't know if I misheard this or everything or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like graduate early high school?
Oh yeah, I probably should have been a little bit more clear about that. I did graduate early, so I got all of my credits during the summer after my junior year. I finished everything, so I just didn't go back this fall.
Okay. So yeah, you graduated early, which is I thought was pretty cool. So you're like pretty smart. But
It was honestly mostly luck because I decided to take instead of taking college level courses at my high school, I took a lot at my local community college, and those give you double credit. So it just the points added up.
okay. Well, that's still amazing. But I heard you say that you don't want to go to college and you rather do your career, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I think that's pretty inspiring just because a lot of people just, it's kind of hard. And I understand that because right now
Yeah.
I'm kind of in like a place that I'm even trying to change my major, which my major right now is digital media arts. And I think it's cool and
Mm.
everything. But I was in audio recording and I'm trying to change it to film because, I mean, as you know, you can just go on YouTube and just learn a lot more about audio recording. And I'm like, okay, if
Hmm.
I do this right now and I'm gonna like spending money on this college, am I
Hmm.
doing it for a reason or should I be just going after it and just trying to do my own? And I think that's cool that you had that idea because I was still trying to figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it definitely depends on what type of major you want to pursue because there's
Mhm.
some things where you don't necessarily need that degree, but then of course there's jobs where you're going to want to go to college as well. So it depends on your specific path.
Yeah. How does your parents do like the news? Were they
Oh,
like,
the news about college.
yeah.
It was a little bit tricky. My mom, she's Filipino and
Uh,
really in the whole um what's it called? Like you gotta be a doctor, go into the medical
Mm-hmm.
field, like a stable, steady job.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was a little bit more open-minded about it. He did go to college, but he's self-employed,
Okay.
and he never really liked the idea of the 9 to 5 job either.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a lot of it was a bit stressful because everyone in my family had different opinions about it. Uh, but ultimately, it came down to my decision. And when I finally decided, like, they understood my reasoning behind it. And after a little while, they were completely okay with it.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of relate to that a lot because my dad's a physician. He works a couple
Mm-hmm.
hospitals,
Oh,
and my
wow.
my
Yeah.
mom is a social worker. She was in the medical field, like for I believe case management. I want to say that for sure, but now she's a social worker in a hospital. So they both kind of like
Mm-hmm.
got her masters, did all that stuff. So it's like
Right. Yeah.
yeah, it's like like I had a brother who went to college, but he didn't really finish all the way. So it's kind of I'm the
Mm-hmm.
next person up. It's like okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's get this go college. You better finish, kind of thing. We're spending a lot of money for you,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like okay, it's tough because like I don't know what I kind of know what I want, but I don't know if it's a good idea. So I'm glad that you said okay, it's my decision. Let me figure this out, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna stick to my decision. I love that because a lot of people don't have that confidence. And I think that was great. Good.
It definitely takes some time to get that confidence, though. I
Yeah.
mean, it took a lot of thinking, and it was a challenging process for sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about your book now. Do you want to explain a little
All
bit of
right.
the story?
Sure. So, Leaving Wishville takes place in a town called Wishville where everyone who's left has never returned. And so there's kind of this unspoken rule among people in the town that nobody leaves. And so the story follows 14-year-old Benji Marino. His father was the last man to leave and disappear, and he's just really curious about what's out there. But everyone in town wants to keep him safe, so keep him in Wishville. So there's kind of a conflict there. And I wrote this story I started writing it during my freshman year of high school, and then I published it during my junior year, which was my last year. So it was pretty much my big high school project.
That's pretty cool. What was like the motivation or the inspiration? Sorry, inspiration to write in the book.
I mean, I've been writing since I was like 7 years old, so I've always been working on some kind of project. But there was something about the concept that really it really drew me in, and I was actually working on a different story at the time, and I ended up ditching it to write Leaving Wishville. um, and a lot of the themes in the story, um, a big overarching theme is friendship, and I chose that because I had some challenging perspectives about friendship back when I was in middle school, where I didn't really see the value in friendship, and so I wanted to have a story that really dove into that topic of like your personal wants and desires versus your relationship with your friends and even your family as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm actually currently dealing with that. So I thought that was very relatable. I was like, okay, I kind of feel the same way because I'm like dealing with like who should I like really put in my circle kind of thing because that's tough.
Yeah.
Trust is it's really tough,
Mm-hmm.
and you always want that person around you. And I thought it was pretty cool because you like I heard your perspective on how you felt in friends in middle school, and you felt like, okay, let's just do this work kind of thing, right? Am I right about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And I thought, okay, I wish I had that bone in my body because sometimes it's okay. Like sometimes it's okay to have that termination and say, okay, everybody leave me alone and let me just do
Mm-hmm.
this. And it's okay to have okay, let's have some fun. And for me, I still have that problem with the balance. Well, of course, the
The
COVID
balance is tough. Yeah.
course, of course, because of COVID, it's kind of forcing everybody to be like, okay, let's do this thing and let's
Mm-hmm.
be alone because we can't really be with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, I was like, okay, I need to have somebody with me or just somebody who cares or so, just that support. And I thought it was a very cool perspective. Like okay, because you did succeed like from that. It's like it was
Right.
it wasn't like I guess you weren't your ideal. I like to like say okay, let's do this, but you kind of succeeded anyway.
Mhm.
Like you found the
Right.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. You found the good of that story, which I think that was really cool
Right.
because like you said, you went and I wrote
Thank
that
you.
book like that, right? It would have been different, huh?
I wouldn't have. Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I find the beauty and good in anything that somebody does, even if they don't think it was the best thing, or they feel like, okay, I should done differently. Because I
hmm
don't think you think that. I'm just saying for everybody. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's definitely. It's my mistakes have really fueled where the path that I've chosen, and so I'm actually really grateful for them. Pretty much all of my mistakes lead up to new book stories,
Mhm.
new projects that I want to work on, and new video ideas. So I wouldn't go back and change anything. That's for sure.
Yeah, for me, when I write or when I'm a songwriter, but I also like writing
hmm
books and I also like writing scripts. I like everything I want
Yeah,
to do is
all is very similar with that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Everything I want to do is like contribute to writing. I want to go in music,
hmm
books. I want basically want to be an entrepreneur like County, like you're doing right now. And I like want to write about everything that's like my problems, like every mistake I had, because I feel like
hmm
that's one. I don't know if you agree with this, but it's a really good venting tool to
Oh yeah.
bring
hmm
in every single thing that you had that you like insecurities and
Oh
put it
my
in
god,
your
yeah,
art.
it's the best.
Yeah,
It's the best.
yeah, because it just
hmm
makes you feel better, huh?
hmm Yeah, I know there's a lot of people who I have some friends who are songwriters and they do the exact same thing.
Mhm.
That's where they really how they it's like an emotional outlet. That's not just ranting to someone.
Yeah, I honestly my beginning reason was for other people. I used to write literally for other people, like they were having problems, and I decided,
Huh.
okay, let me write this story, my song, in like in
Oh
story
really?
form. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I had a friend that I guess she had like abusive father, or it was it was like in middle school. That's why I really started writing. I started my
hmm
writing in elementary school, but like in middle school, I started really putting effort into it. But I didn't really want to do that as a career, but I just said, okay, let me just do this for a friend. And she told me that the way I wrote it kind of like changed her perspective on everything. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's not always going to be the case, but why not try? So I started doing that for more people because I had like a decent amount
Oh,
of
that's really
friends.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a decent amount of friends that were dealing with stuff.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, let me just write for other people. And I still have that in me, but a lot of times it's like, okay, let me just focus on myself and let hope that relates to everybody else.
Right. Yeah. I
But
think that
then,
in a lot of cases it does though.
yeah, yeah, because
Mhm.
I have issues where I just talk a lot, events a lot to people, and I realized it kind of messed up a lot of friendships. So I had to like, okay,
Mm.
let me just put it into my art instead. So yeah, I'm glad
Right,
that
right.
you had that like, idea already, because I'm I'm 19. Like how when will you turn 18?
In a couple months.
Okay, so I'm like
Or
a
yeah,
year.
January.
I'm like your birthday's in January.
Yeah.
January what?
Ninth.
Oh, okay, mine's 14th. That's pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
Okay, but so I'm like literally 2 years older than you then.
hmm
So and I was like, okay, I need to find something because it took me so long. Well, I know I'm 19, I'm pretty still young, but for somebody
hmm
like you, like, and I'm not trying to compare. I'm saying it's like really inspiring for like someone. Okay, I let me just figure this out now. Let me just get this energy I feel and let's just put it out because a lot of people don't have that till way later. I think that's really cool.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I'm still figuring stuff out for sure. I
Yeah,
don't
of
really
course.
know what I'm doing, but
Yeah,
I'm just
but
trying things.
but it's funny like you say that, and I know people are like, "But you're doing this and that, that." I understand that, but at the same time, I feel like we'll never ever like figure out what we're doing. It's a kind of like
Maybe that's true. That could be
kind of just the
that could be the point.
process, no matter what.
Right.
I think it's you're just still ahead of the game, so it's pretty cool. Now, let's say like, okay, we don't have a Grammy or anything right now, or an Oscar
hmm
or whatever. It's still inspiring to just be ahead of the game. So I think a lot of people will tell you that, huh? You're pretty
Yeah,
inspiring.
it's interesting because there's always going to be people who are younger than you and doing more.
Mhm.
It's like this endless. I don't know this, and I wouldn't say hierarchy. That's not a good term to use in this
Yeah.
case, but um, I feel like there's this one quote that I had where it said, "Nobody ahead of you is looking down," or something like
Hmm.
that. Like no one above you is looking down at you, which has really put things into perspective for me, which I think is interesting because everyone's just so focused on what they're doing and trying to reach their next own personal goal. And so there's not really, how do I phrase this? I feel like a lot of times you can look at people who are doing a lot of different things and feel like they're judging you for not doing the same
Hmm.
when that really isn't the case. Like the only people who are watching you are the people who want to do what you're doing,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but it's helped me feel better about like the whole comparison thing.
oh, so you were dealing with like, a little bit comparison
Oh
before?
yeah, yeah. It definitely happens with me sometimes.
Hmm. Definitely.
When you see people who have maybe been doing something for not even as long as you and they're succeeding more, or they're younger than you and they whatever, there's a billion ways you can fall into that trap. But if you just remember that the people who are doing all those things are not looking down at you for that, and they're not discouraging you for the fact that you're not where they are, that really makes it a lot better of a situation, I feel like.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't want to say I disagree with your quote because I'm just a different person. I
Okay.
only reason why I say I disagree with it, well, I feel like I disagree with it because
Mm.
I kind of take inspiration from anything, anybody. That's just how I am.
Okay.
And I'm thinking like, okay, there's a lot of celebrities that basically brought up younger celebrities, and especially in
Hmm.
music and stuff, just because they
Yeah.
feel like the inspiration, so they did something different. So I don't. I think it's great to not great to compare yourself, but it's great to take like, okay, she's doing this and she's younger. Let's let's see how she figured that out at early age compared to me. Well, and let's see how I can better myself, basically. You know, it's not.
Yeah, I like that perspective.
Yeah, because a lot
As
of people.
long as it's not like a judgmental comparison, I
Yeah,
guess.
I get you. I get you. And I don't like judgment either, so I understand that completely. But I really think that I was like, okay, because yeah, I have this, but I only have like I had did an essay where like kind of venting tool. And I had like 14 parts of my life that I kind of wrote about. It's called like 14 confessions or something similar. I forgot. I really did,
Okay.
but I did that, and I did that, and I have a bunch of other things I'm trying to do. And I'm like, okay, I need to figure out how to do this, but I also need to figure out how other people did it so I can learn from that. So
Mm.
when I like DM'd you, I was like, okay, she's a teen author. I didn't know you were just you doing all this other stuff, which I was pretty cool to know about. But like, okay, she's a teen author. She's 17. Wow. Let's see what she did that I need to do and figure out.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, I have one more question about your
All
book,
right.
and I'm talking about the process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, explain me the process. How like what did you do? The steps you took, basically. Sorry.
The first thing that I did was I participated in NaNoWriMo. So I wrote the first draft of Leaving Wishville in November of 2017. You know what NaNoWriMo is, right?
No.
No. Okay,
I'm gonna
so
ask you too.
it's
Okay.
it's short for National Novel Writing Month, I believe, and it's held every November.
Mhm.
So there's actually one starting in a couple days now.
The contest?
Um,
Like
yeah, no, it's not a contest. It's more
something like
like
that.
it's just a challenge,
Okay.
and
Gotcha.
multiple people compete in the challenge. So there's um, it's not like only one person wins. Like as long as you hit the 50,000
Got it.
word count goal,
That's
then you
cool.
win. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I did it November, and I really liked it because I had always started projects and then quit them because I'd start overthinking everything and
That's how
cutting
I
out
am right
scenes and
now.
stuff. So NaNoWriMo really forces you to, there's no time. You have to write so much that there's no time to look at what you've already written. You just have to keep going. So it was really great for me when I tend to overthink my everything I've written so far.
Hmm.
So I wrote the first draft, and then I spent pretty much the next 2 years just editing. I had 3 rounds of beta reading, so I had several groups of people who read my book and gave me feedback. And after I went through my 3rd round of beta reading, I did a couple more rounds, just fine tuning the actual. Once I was pretty firm with the story, just fine tuning the actual writing itself. And then from that point on, I just worked on the publishing process.
Okay. So one of the things I found interesting because I was watching your 4 myths or 5 myths on writing.
Oh, right, that video.
So I found interesting. For me, I think you're gonna agree with this. Um, when you write, you kind of just go with the flow. It doesn't always have to be okay, plotting and doing it. You just kind of sometimes just
Right.
go for flow. As for some writers, not all writers are like that. Some people need a structure. For me,
Mm-hmm.
I like to have an idea, but don't plot it out. I like to see where it takes me when I'm come
Mm-hmm.
writing. So you said that professional editors. People always have the myth or the idea that they need a bunch of professional editors. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I don't agree with that. And I'm glad you said like it's a myth because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's your art and
Mm-hmm.
whatever flaw or whatever problem it has. I'm not saying like the whole thing needs to be like I'm a perfectionist by myself. Like I don't need to have this like whole thing where it's like, okay, guys, come on, come on, come on. I'm not saying like people need to not review your stuff. That'd be cool. I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying like I like the idea of just saying if I make a mistake here, 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 I'm okay with it, so
Mm-hmm.
I can learn from later, and people just really get to know how I wrote it, and people really understand my art. It wasn't like a
Mm-hmm.
completely different from what we call it how I started it.
Right. Yeah. I definitely don't think that it's necessary to have a professional editor. And I like what you said about having it be truly your art and not something that's been altered by
Mm-hmm.
someone else's
Yeah.
opinions on it. I think the whole idea about having a professional editor, I do think it's important to have other people read your work just because it can catch really big problems that you might not notice on your own just because you've read it over and over again, or you feel like you have the information in your mind and you don't know that that information wasn't actually transferred into the text. So I think it is important to have beta readers at least, or critique
Mm-hmm.
partners who will
What is
give you
that
some
called? Like you
feedback here
said,
and
beta
there.
readers? I'm sorry, beta readers.
Beta readers, yeah. So it's pretty much people who read your book before the book is published.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, and they give you feedback. It's a little bit different from advanced ARC readers, like
Mm-hmm.
advanced reader copies, because
Yeah.
those there aren't any changes. But
Mm-hmm.
beta readers, they'll give you feedback that you could actually make huge changes in your story. Every time I did a round of beta reading, people pointed out things that were really big, and I always every time made huge changes to my story. But I think that if you have enough people looking over your story and you've done several rounds of editing, what's most important is that you're happy with the final product. And I don't think you need to have an editor to have a good story.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think, like I said, I think it's really your choice, and you can have that opinion or choose to do editors, choose not to. But either way, your art is your art, and it should be appreciated no
Mm-hmm.
matter what. Now, I
For
think a lot of
sure.
people overthink doing projects, and
Mm-hmm.
the end goal of me is saying, okay, I did it. It really isn't
Mm-hmm.
like, oh man, I had to do this way, which I am perfectionist, but it's still like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm happy I did it. I don't care if people like it or
Mm-hmm.
people don't like it. How did you feel like thinking, okay, after the end of this, like end of all of it, do you feel like, okay, is people going to like it, or did you care, or was it like overthinking?
Honestly, I was not very nervous,
Mm-hmm.
and I attribute that to the fact that I had done so many rounds of beta reading.
Okay.
I had people who enjoyed the story during my 3rd round, and they were like, "Yeah, I don't even think you need to make many changes at all."
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of gave me the confidence that people would like it. But also, I had just put so much work into it that I kind of just accepted the fact that if people don't like it, that's fine because I'm happy with it. And I think it's really important in order to be confident when you publish, you have to truly feel confident in what you're publishing.
Mhm.
So I don't think that you should rush through the process. Like when you feel ready, you'll you'll be ready to publish, and you'll be ready to accept the kind of feedback that you'll receive, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. So next year I'm supposed to be publishing a book. My mom was like, "Okay,
Awesome.
well, it's the whole idea, and we can get into
Mhm.
this because actually we can get into this now about entrepreneurship because
Okay.
this whole idea that it's like you're just a dreamer type of thing, and I
Hmm.
get that a lot. Well, within some people that are negative, obviously, but within like your family, it's kind of hard to say, "Oh, I want to be an entrepreneur," because like it's everybody's like, "Okay, you're trying to be like everybody else," basically. I it took a lot of me to say, "Okay, I want to do this for sure, and I don't care how crazy it sounds." Because if anybody
Hmm.
knows me, they know how like my plans are. I have a bunch of goals in the future. They sound crazy because like at the end of this, I want to have like a whole
Hmm.
business thing. I want to like I want to have like done a play. I want to have done a book, movie, blah, blah, blah. I want like there's so much stuff I want to do in entertainment, and
Hmm.
I have this idea. Okay, let me just do one a year. So next year I'm supposed to do a book. This year I'm supposed to finish an album, which I'm working on. It's gonna come
Oh,
out
that's
soon.
a really cool goal.
Yeah, and after that I'm doing a movie script, and I already have a person that's gonna direct it for me. It's cool. I'm like it's gonna be based off the book,
Cool.
kind of like how you're doing with your short film. It's gonna be like based
Nice.
off the book, and I have other things in the future planned. So for you, is it like let's do this, or are you just like okay, I have an idea, let's do it, or do you have like okay, let me just do this now, and I want to do that later? Which one is it?
Honestly, I maybe this is not the right strategy, but I kind of just scramble and work on everything at once.
Oof,
I don't
can't
really
do that.
have
I
I don't
can't
have
do
too
that.
many projects planned for the future. I'm just trying to build up the ones that I have right now and make those ones successful. Like I try not to I force myself not to think about my other book ideas until I'm done with this book
Mhm.
idea. It's kind
Got
of a
it.
similar thing, I think.
Yeah, I used to be able to try to do that. It did not work with me because I am a very big overthinker and I'm very big a
Mm,
perfectionist. And I have a problem with keeping myself motivated on something. So if I switch up, it's like I've kind of put stuff behind. Like people who know
mm,
me, like with my close friends, I tell them all the time, okay, I have an idea. It's like I
mm.
got used to say, okay, I got an idea, instead of saying, I'm doing this. And now I can
Right.
say, yeah, I'm doing this right now. This is what I'm doing. Next thing I'm gonna
Hmm.
tell you about is I'm doing this.
Mm.
So I like the idea that it's
Yeah.
okay. I don't like. I think that's cool because not everybody's gonna do the same way, and I think it's actually really cool because in the future, when you are like, which I believe you're gonna be like a star. I'm just saying. That's how I
Oh,
feel.
thanks.
You probably have a bunch of other projects, and and that's I kind of feel like I want to be able to do. 'Cause that's really what an entrepreneur is. They can't really say, okay, I'm doing this right now. Leave me alone. With other stuff coming. Leave me alone. They can't really
Mm.
say that, and I think that's really cool. Okay, my question is: I know you answered this before, but I
Okay.
wanted people to hear this. You answered it to me before, but I wanted people to hear this. How do you feel you want your future to be like?
I honestly I honestly don't really know. All I know is that I really want to travel,
Mhm.
and I really want to continue working on all of the projects that I love doing, and I don't want to be working at a job that I really hate.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, most of my focus isn't too much on the future right now. I'm just trying to focus on all of the things that I'm working on, and put all of my energy into my current projects. And I'm usually too much of a planner in trying to plan my future. And so I'm trying to force myself to kind of go with the flow for a little bit
Okay.
and just see where that takes me.
See, like we have similar but different things. I like the idea of planning just because I have a goal and I'm planning on working on it. But at the same time,
Hmm.
I'm okay with saying it's not gonna work out, which is gonna suck, but I know that's realistic.
Yeah.
So I understand that maybe not everything's gonna work out, but anybody who knows me, I'm pretty big futurist. I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
this is my goal. This is what I'm gonna end up doing. I have I have like freaking millions of ideas that I want to get done. Maybe not all of them
Hmm.
are gonna get done, but at least that I have this thing where I say push keep me going, you know?
Hmm.
And it's not gonna work for everybody. And I kind of appreciate the fact that you're like, okay, well, I don't really know because anything's possible. We know
Yeah.
2020,
Yeah.
anything's
So
possible.
many variables.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And for me, I'm like, okay, I know anything's possible, but at least I can say this is what I want to do. If it doesn't work out, I got plan B. I got plan C, whatever D, E, whatever. And I kind of had to figure that out a lot quicker because, especially because 2020, obviously. But there's a lot of things that I'm like, okay, I can't do this. It sucks, but I keep trying, force it, just can't do it. So I think it's pretty
Hmm.
cool that you're just like, no, let me just go with the flow, just
Hmm.
do it, and that's pretty big just for like my mindset. I it's gonna be a struggle for me to do
It
it.
is really freeing though once you
Yeah,
can get into that mindset.
yeah, because it's you seem to have a lot of fun in your videos. It's just you can see like the happiness. Okay, this is what my life is, and I kind of like that was really cool. And okay, you and your friends are it's just funny. I
Hmm.
love seeing you guys in your videos,
Thanks.
and you guys are like going on adventures. I'm like, what the?
Right.
Can I just have that life? I'm not like saying like, oh, I'm not like it's not a jealousy thing. I'm just saying that I see the happiness. Say, this is my life. I'm working on a bunch of projects, and
Hmm.
correct me if I'm wrong. uh, this is the life. I love it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can see it
Yeah, that's one thing that I really like about YouTube is it's forced me to go out and do things that I wouldn't normally do.
now. Mm-hmm.
And
Yes,
it's just so different to the difference between just hanging out with friends and just doing whatever is very different from actually having to do something that is worthy of something people would want to watch. So you kind of have to go the
yeah.
extra step and um, come up with some more creative ways to spend your time, which honestly has made hanging out with people a lot more interesting.
Okay. So I like how you said that is different from like going to like hang out with other people and going
Uh-huh.
to just say, okay, let's do something that's gonna people are gonna like, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I feel I'm the type of person that's like F the people what people are gonna like basically. Cause
Right, right.
because I had so much of such a problem. Anybody who knows me knows that I had such a problem. I'm always trying to please everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's like how do I just say, let's just do this? Who cares if somebody's not gonna like it? And let's just
Mm-hmm.
have fun. Which might not have the same results as what you
Interesting.
have.
Yeah.
Because I mean, how many subscribers you have or something? It's
Oh,
like
it's like 3,000 something.
okay, that's still a lot. That's a lot, not like the idea that everybody's gonna say, oh well, just 3,000. But no, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. That's pretty
Thanks.
cool.
But
I
it's
think
interesting how you. Oh, sorry.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's interesting how you brought up like trying to please other people. I guess that's just sort of built in to my mindset a little bit because
Um
that is something that's on my mind when it comes to writing stories. Because obviously, I'm writing the story mainly for myself, and I want to enjoy the story. But a secondary goal is for also other people to enjoy that story as well. So there's kind of both of those, and I would say that I prioritize my own enjoyment, but other people enjoying it is still a big
big
element
factor.
of their of
Mhm.
that as well. Yeah.
I have okay. We are very similar. It's funny, but it was like flipped a little bit
Okay.
because I always had the idea like if everybody's happy, I'm happy. I can be happy. That's always been
Mhm.
my idea. I had to change that quickly, so I could see that you have that idea like flipped. Like it's okay. So let me prioritize myself, and then the second
Mhm.
goal is that making everybody happy.
Right.
Me, it's been such a heavy like load, and I had to like really. It's like I had to go to
Mm,
the mindset. Okay, let me just do this for me because it really
hmm.
was beating me up. It was really was,
Yeah.
and a lot of ideas I had. It was like, not people gonna like it,
Mm,
or will I like it, the fact like it? And even now, like even I don't even understand. I don't know if I really want to go to college. Like that's simple. I don't really
hmm.
know. Is it for
Yeah.
my parents, or am I actually saying that it's a good idea? Because honestly, for me, I would like even if I graduate, I'm still gonna tell my kids do whatever the heck you want, basically.
Hmm.
And because I feel like this whole society thing where it's like this is how you had to do it, and I love that
Hmm.
you're like okay, combating that. Like no, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And who? Okay, let me ask this question: Who's your inspiration? Who have you like seek information from? Like, YouTube, anybody?
Gosh, that's a really tricky one because it's honestly I don't have like one person
Hmm.
that's just like my role model or whatever.
Okay.
It's been a variety of multiple people
Well, me
online.
too. But
Huh?
who's like the most? Okay, I have a lot too. I agree with you.
Right, right.
I was to
Um
help you out with this question because I kind of like made it really general. Who is the person that is like you just keep going back to, even though like you have a bunch of people, but like there's more. There's one person that like, I keep
hmm.
going back to a little bit more.
This one might be a little bit weird, but
Okay.
uh you know Luke Corns, he's a YouTuber.
No, but I'm pretty sure my audience might.
Mhm. Well, I used to watch his videos a ton, and I still watch them. I go back to them once in a while, and I've always found his videos really interesting because they incorporate a story structure, in my opinion. They really follow like a if you watch his videos, you'll see he'll like introduce the people in his videos as characters almost, and there's you can kind of recognize different story beats, like the dark night of the soul moment where everything just goes wrong. Like he really has a structure, and so it's been interesting to watch his videos because I feel like I can relate with the story structure, but then I also want to create videos like that. And so he's been a huge motivation to my YouTube channel, in particular, and just trying to make my utilize my writing strengths into my videos as well.
Okay, that's really cool. For me, I mean, of course, I have so many, but
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to entrepreneurship, I'm just going to say entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
or well, for creative wise, like I have like people that varies from like music to books and everything.
Yeah,
But
there's like different categories.
yeah, there is good categories, right? But when I say
Mm-hmm.
overall entrepreneurship, Gary Vee, if
Mm-hmm.
you know who Gary Vee is,
Yeah, I haven't watched too many of his videos, but
okay,
I know a lot about him.
yeah, he is such a like because he's like one of those people that are like a motivational speaker kind of thing, and
Mm-hmm.
he has a lot of quotes. But also,
Mm-hmm.
person who unfortunately passed away, Kobe Bryant was a big person for me, but he wasn't really. He wasn't really. He did just basketball for like what 20 years or something like that, and he
Mm-hmm.
just started getting into books and stuff right before he passed away. But he had a lot of quotes that I want to share one with you, and it's kind of like I feel like that's your idea, but it really it was my inspiration and for me. It's probably my favorite quotes all time. But I need to
All
start
right.
learning this. All right, okay. So you said somebody asked him about his idea, like because he was focused on basketball for so many years, he didn't really do anything else. And somebody
Mm-hmm.
asked him, "Did you have a plan B?" And he like looked at the we call interviewer crazy. He's like, "Plan B," and he was like, "If I had a plan B, that would take away from the plan A. If I really want to know
Mm-hmm.
how my
Yeah.
what's my biggest potential, I need to focus on plan A all the way because I give a little inch.
Whoa, that's really interesting.
Yeah, can I give a little inch
Uh-huh.
of plan A away? That's not really my
Mm-hmm.
full potential." And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Wow, I that took a lot of information out of my system because I was like, let's have a bunch of plans, or whatever." which I still
Mm-hmm.
have, but now I'm talking about like entrepreneurship. It's like, okay, if I take plan A and I just go with plan A the whole way, which is entrepreneurship, whatever, if it doesn't fall, like a lot of people say, oh, it's not always gonna work, blah blah blah. It's just a big dream, blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
I will deal with it at that time. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how you
Yeah.
feel about that. How do you feel?
No, I completely agree with that. I think you have to have a lot of confidence in what you're doing. Not even confidence in the projects that you're working on, but the confidence that no matter what happens, you're going to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
There's when I was trying to make the decision to not go to college, I was really stressed about the idea, like, what if it doesn't work out?
Yeah, understand.
And my my sister, because she's an entrepreneur, who also didn't go to college,
You're
and
cool.
she told me, she was very open to whatever choice I made. She wasn't pushing the no college or college choice or anything, but she said, like, no matter what happens, you'll figure it out because you have to. And that really struck me, because it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna let myself just go downhill. um if whatever happens, like, it's gonna turn out all right.
Most people are scared of that, and okay. A lot of people are scared of failure. Period.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, if I don't do this right and blah blah, I don't want to be whatever age, and it's all done. I failed this whole thing I was doing. For me, I'm like, I love failure. It's crazy. I know
Mm-hmm.
people think I'm crazy for this, but isn't that what's going to get you better in the first place? And you're going to deal
Mm-hmm.
with failure no matter what. Isn't that going to get you better in the first place? And I thought, okay, I'm gonna share this another quote with you, but this time Gary Vee. I believe I forgot to say this one, but he said, um, like whatever age you are, he was talking about like 17, 18, 19, 20s, whatever. He's like, this is your chance. This is your whole entire, like, this 20s is literally your range of saying, I don't care what I do, let's just do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to do, because you don't want to be like, okay, 40, blah blah blah, and say, I didn't like I didn't do this when I did this. Now let me try to do this, because
Mm-hmm.
that's more. There's more factors into it when you have a kids and you have already had a job and you already have the
Yeah,
financial
it's
plan.
true.
This is your time. This is your time. And I was like, okay, that got me like more. Let's go. This is my
Mm-hmm.
time. And I'm like seeing you like, okay, I'm not going to college. I'm doing this. I'm only 17, so I got plenty of time. This is my
Mm-hmm.
time. And I was like, okay, this is the idea. That's why I felt really inspired. I was like, okay, this person
Oh, I'm
that got it
happy to hear
down.
that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we gotta talk about your short film. Can you tell us? And we know it's from your book, but just tell us how you had this work out for you. Guess.
All right. So I have an online friend named Sebastian. We weren't really close or anything, but we talked once in a while, commented on each other's YouTube videos and stuff. And he ended up buying my book, Leaving Wishville, when I first announced it. And he messaged me a few months later, and he really enjoyed the story. And a little while after that, he reached out to me with the idea of adapting it into a short film, um, which would be like a proof of concept to potentially turn it into a feature film. And obviously, I was like, that's awesome, I'm in. And we ended up, or I went down to Santa Cruz for part of the production to film after we worked on the script for a couple of weeks. And it was a really great experience to meet everyone who was involved in the project. And I still haven't seen the final product. Still going through revisions at the moment, I believe. But I'm
Wait,
looking forward to it.
I have a question, Kai. I
Yeah.
want to hear if I heard this right. The script
Yeah.
only took a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay. So he worked on different variations of the script for a
Okay.
couple months, actually, but we ended up going in a new direction. So a majority of it was within a couple weeks. Yeah,
That's still
it was pretty
crazy.
fast paced. It
So
wasn't a
you
huge script
okay? I
because
know,
it's just
but
a
like
short film. Yeah.
you're spending like a couple hours a day on that, probably.
Not a couple hours a day, but they when we did meet, which was like every few days or whatever, they were really long.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I
they
got
were
you.
long sessions.
Because I was
Yeah.
like, man, that's impressive to that fast. So okay, so you met your online friend, and he was like, let's just do this, and based on your book. And I want to know two things: how long
All right.
short film's gonna be? Do you know how
Mm-hmm.
long the short film's gonna be?
I do know how long it's going to be. It's going to be pretty short. It's going to be around 4 minutes long.
4 minutes. Wow.
Yes.
That,
So the idea behind it is that it's a proof of concept short film. So it's kind of what you would see. Let's say you're watching a show on Netflix or something. It's the section you would see like a teaser right before they have the title screen.
okay.
So that's kind of what it is. It has a beginning, middle, end, which is a very small section of the story.
Mm,
Just like a lot of chapters have their own beginning, middle, and end, but it's very
yeah.
much unresolved. And so it's kind of just a hint of what the book is about.
That's like okay. I don't know if you're gonna get offended by this, but
Mhm.
isn't that like a kind of like a trailer?
Yeah, it's kind of similar to a trailer,
Okay.
but
What
it
makes it a short
could
film
it
instead?
could stand alone on its own, and just be one of because a lot of short films have like relatively open-ended endings. But yeah, we'll see. It really comes down to the editing as well, like how
Mm,
much information comes through. So I still don't really know how it's gonna turn out, but we'll see.
I'm excited because hearing 4 minutes is like, okay, so how am I get all it? I want like all
There's
the
a
questions.
lot. It was so hard to squeeze
Yeah,
it all.
yeah.
Like just with the time restriction for this, it was tough.
So those
And
set or it kind of had to be 4 minutes.
it was set for the people that it's being pitched to. It has to be under 4 minutes. We'll
Mhm.
see.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm curious though.
okay. So
So I believe it's going to be relatively fast paced from the
I
sound of it.
I don't want to call it not spoil it, but I don't want to jinx anything. So you said you're
Okay.
pitching it to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
I
it's
what?
possible you're pitching it to somebody.
Yes.
So it possibly could be bigger than just a small short film.
Correct.
Okay, that's cool. I think that's really cool too. Because my idea is like just do a short film, but I think that puts a lot more perspective into doing my own thing. Because like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to be just for you can just sell it to people. I understand what you're doing now. I can see what you're doing now. It's pretty cool. I like it. Now my other
Mm-hmm.
question is, oh, before I lost it. My other question
Okay.
how how did like how did the process go when it came to getting everybody to do this with you? Was it like and how many people
Honestly,
are
I'm
involved? I'm sorry, two questions.
uh
It's a two-part question.
um shoot, I'm trying to remember how many. I think I met 6 or 7 people.
Okay.
I believe there's like almost 10 people who are involved. I can't really think of the exact number right now. But I met quite a few people during the production. I'm actually like not probably not as involved as you think I am. I worked with Sebastian on the screenwriting, and then I went there to film a couple days of the behind the scenes video that I made, but I really wasn't involved in a lot of the other stuff like props and getting actors and all of that side of the process. I wasn't really involved with. So I actually don't really know how all of these people were involved. I think Sebastian has some connections with them, but yeah, that's kind of all I know.
So that's pretty cool to be like, okay,
Yeah, it was cool.
to meet all these people because like they're doing your
Hmm.
idea.
Oh
They
yeah, it was the craziest thing. Yeah.
so talking to them, was it really
Hmm.
Sebastian who's like, okay, this is how you want it, he wants it to be, or were you also like very involved talking to the actors and actresses about how
Hmm.
the character is supposed to be?
I was involved. I did have a little bit of a role in talking directly to the actors. Like I talked to the girl who plays Samantha. Yeah, the girl who plays Samantha about her character and kind of the dynamics. But a lot of the other parts of the story was just me, or sorry, it's kind of loud. Me talking to Sebastian, and then Sebastian conveying that information for the other things.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's first of all, it's really cool. But because I like the dream for me is to be working with
Mhm.
people and saying, "This is my project. Everybody here is going to not work for me, work with me to do this
Right.
project." And I get to talk to people and say, "Okay, this is what I want."
Hmm.
Like kind of being
Oh yeah.
director or a producer basically. So I thought that was really inspired. Like say, like, okay, I have a book here. It's turning into
Hmm.
a short film. It's 4 minutes, which is I think is really like exciting to watch. About to watch a 4 minute book basically turn into a
Yeah.
film. That's amazing.
Hmm.
But you telling everybody like, okay, it's how I want it, and having somebody with you who knows how. Is Sebastian like have experience doing this stuff?
He's worked on some music videos, I believe, but this is his first short film, if I'm
Oh, that's cool.
correct.
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
Hmm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
last of this interview slash podcast,
Okay.
we need to talk about well, okay, several things. For the audience, they need to know what you really are about. Like so I want you to answer the three questions. What do you view yourself as like career wise? You answer that first. I will give you this other one later.
Okay.
Go ahead, answer
Oh,
this.
sorry. Was that the question?
Yeah, yeah. I'll give you the other
Oh, I
two.
thought you said
Sorry.
would you. So who? Sorry. What was it? Who? Let me close the door really quick.
It's okay.
All right. Who would I view myself as career-wise?
Yeah, like what would your label be basically?
Mm. Um. That's a tricky one. I would say either entrepreneur or storyteller. Those are
I
kind of the
love it.
two things that kind of encompass everything. I wouldn't call myself just an author or just a YouTuber or whatever because
Yeah.
there's just so many different things I'm working on, and I prefer storyteller over author and stuff just because it also plays a role in my YouTube videos as well because there's a
Mhm.
lot of story aspects.
Okay. Second question. How
Yes.
many things have you like done or are you working on
How many things am I working on right now?
and have done? Yes.
And have done. Oh geez. I I wrote a book that I published when I was 10 that really sucked, and then I wrote another book that really sucked that I published when I was 13, and then both of those were unpublished. And when I was 17, so February of this year, I published Leaving Wishville, which I'm actually proud of, and it's not perfect, but I'm really happy with it.
That's really good too.
I Oh, thank you. And I also was running for about 2.5 years, I was running a teen writer blog called Teen Authors Journal, which I ended up shutting down during my freshman year. So I
Mm,
could focus more on school and my book and other things I was doing and
gotcha.
actually have a social life. And then, let's see, I've also been making YouTube videos for a couple of years now, I think a little over 2 years. And I would say that's probably pretty much, those are like the big things.
Okay. Last thing.
All
It's gonna be
right.
I'm gonna try to it's gonna be an in-depth question. But where can you find anything you're doing? Like all your projects, where can you find them? And how much
Okay.
does the book cost? So there's a two-part question.
All right. All right. So you can find me on YouTube. My YouTube name is Mel Torrefranca, or on Instagram. I'm at Mel Torrefranca. I also have a website, which is meltorrefranca.com. Also, I'm running a hybrid publishing house. So if you're working on a story or something and you want to check that out, it's called Lost Island Press. And we're actually doing a writing contest right now and publishing the winner's book for free in 2021, which I'm really excited about. And sorry, what was the second part of the question? Oh, the book. Leaving Wishville, the ebook is $6.99, the paperback is $13.99, and the hardcover is $21.99 in US currency.
Where is it? Like on Amazon?
Oh yeah, those are all you can get them Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Apple iBooks, pretty much any of the online retailers.
Wait, so you say Barnes and Noble as the website or it's actually in store?
Barnes and Noble website.
Okay. I was like,
Yeah.
that's no store. I might go to Barnes and Noble right now. Anyway, but yeah, I actually I didn't get the book, but I actually had a friend get the book for me because I didn't have the money right at that time. And
Mhm.
I read it. I read most of it. I'm like almost done. It is
Oh,
so
cool.
good. I
Oh,
really
thank
love it.
you.
I actually I relate a lot to I relate a lot to almost a lot of the characters. So I
That's really
really
cool to hear.
I really like get I feel like I get a little bit of each character, and I just really think that
Mhm.
was really good book, really good book.
That's awesome.
It's also helped me not really structure my book, but understand what I really want. So, 'cause I was thinking with time, I was like, what's my real idea? Cause
Mhm.
you heard me say I don't like plotting, but what was my real idea? So I
Mhm.
glad that I read it. It was really good. I'm glad I met you because I mean, look, like you're gonna be a star. I'm just saying. That's how I
Oh,
feel. So just glad to meet you early. Get an interview early because all these interviews come in when you get the big thing. I'm, I'm teasing, but I will put your link and
all
your
right. Sounds good.
information in the bio for everybody. Please follow her. I will have her Instagram. I have her everything on there. I'm gonna even have where you can get the book. So, and
Awesome. Thank
thank
you.
you.
Yeah, thanks for having me today. It was nice to talk to
I
you.
mean, thank you for
And I'm
coming.
excited to see your projects. I'm
Thank
excited
you
to
for
see your
coming.
book next year.
Yeah. And my other stuff coming. I got stuff coming, but we'll just
Cool.
pause on that for just to appreciate the person who came on here and give a great interview. I appreciate it. Now, you guys come back for next time. I'll have more people join. But thank you, Mel, very much for
Yeah.
coming on.
Thank you so much. See ya.